Hello and welcome to a very sunny, bonny Scotland. Don't believe those people that say it's always raining and miserable in Scotland, because it certainly isn't, especially in this side of the country. Those of you who came last year to my coastal photography retreat will be able to vouch for that. We had weather like this for the majority of our stay. Today I've come down to a slightly different location to what I normally photograph at. I'm at Nairn beach. My intention is to go onto these beautiful sand dunes and photograph the lovely marram grass. But before I do that, I've just noticed there is this beautiful sandbar here at the entrance of the harbour. And I'm going to zoom in with my telephoto lens and photograph some abstract imagery, because this is absolutely stunning. We've got this incredible interplay between these beautiful lines here and the rippling water. If I just zoom in for a second here, I'm framing up these areas with these beautiful bands and the difference in the shades between them. Just a really interesting contrast there between the two different areas, the pulsing water and these smooth lines. Oh my gosh, just look at that. Stunning. So I'm starting off with my 24 to 70mm lens to get both of these aspects in, and then I'm going to swap over to my 100 to 400mm and zoom into certain areas of this. My gosh, this is so beautiful. Once I've photographed these images, I'd like to speak to you about motivation. I was supposed to do it in last week's video, and I ended up just getting so excited by the scenes that it never happened. But I feel it's really important right now. This is incredible. Do you know, I never plan my photography outings nowadays. I got a question from one of you recently. I put a little post up on here in the community tab asking if you had any questions regarding mindful photography, things that you'd like me to answer. And one of the questions that came up was from David, and he asked, how do I decide, or how do you decide where you want to go before you leave the house? And I wrote back to him with some questions. I said, why do you need to decide where you're going to go before you leave the house and what you're going to photograph? Just to get him to think a little bit. And if you're watching, David, hopefully you understood why I asked that. Because I remember back when I started photography, I would plan my locations meticulously. I knew where I was going, I knew the time of day, I knew what I wanted to photograph. And for certain types of photography, that is essential. An example may be an astrological event. You're going to photograph the solar eclipse. You need to be in a certain location at a certain time on a certain day with certain equipment. You know, that's a given. But for the vast majority of the type of photography I do, you know, landscape, nature, abstract, creative, mindfulness, it really is about going out and just responding to what I see. Today I thought my intention was going to be to go into the dunes and photograph this lovely light, and I may well end up there after this, but I never fixate on these things. And I ended up today in Nairn because I've just met some friends for lunch, and you know, it's not that I intended necessarily to do photography here. I just thought I've got a few hours spare afterwards, so I'll take my camera and I'll film this week's video for you. So here we are. And I just thought I'd speak through this just now. If any of you feel like you need to decide where you're going and why you're going and when you're going before you leave the house, next time just pack up your gear, head out the door, walk, cycle, drive to wherever you feel like going. You don't need to plan it. Just go wherever you feel like going, and the photographic opportunities will just appear, as they have done today. I could not have predicted that I would come here today and be greeted with this incredible sandbar. I mean, Nairn Beach, Nairn Harbour is not a location that I know particularly well. I have been here a few times recently just for pleasure. But I don't know this area or this beach that well photographically. I couldn't have planned this. And this to me is what coming out with a camera is all about. It's these moments of seeing what we're going to find, of responding to the conditions. So now for me, it's not about choosing where I'm going to go. It's just get out there, go, and see what you can discover. And I've just bumped into a lovely lady called Sarah.
Kim.
I am, yeah.
I thought that. I recognised you from here.
Hello, if you watch this channel. She said she follows me on Instagram, but if you watch my YouTube videos as well, hello, and thank you so much for coming over and saying hello. It's always lovely to see other people out with their cameras and just enjoying it. It's what it's all about. She was out enjoying it, she was loving the patterns in the sand, and it was so nice to just share a little conversation with her there as well. It's what it's all about. So just, where do you feel like going today? Could be anywhere. Just jump in your car, walk on your legs, and go to wherever you feel called to go today, and just respond to whatever appears when you get there, because that is when the magic and the unexpected happens, which is always so exciting. One of the things I love about nature is how different aspects of nature mimic each other in patterns. And as I'm looking at these just now, while I was photographing them, zooming in, I was noticing this actually reminds me of a mushroom. You know, the underside of a mushroom, when you have these different lines within it. It doesn't look so much here necessarily, but in the photograph, see that I just showed you, I'm about to show you. See if you can see what I mean by the same pattern within mushrooms. It's absolutely fascinating. Look at this view. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. There's this oyster catcher that's running along the beach on his own. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. Let me see if this camera doesn't zoom in very far. Can you see him down here? There. He was just running down the sand. He was just running down here. Oh my gosh, that was so cute. There he is. You're going to run a bit more. Look at the sand today. I mean, just look at the layering and the textures. Oh my goodness. Come on, run for the camera. This is incredible. I'm going to go and find a nice sheltered spot to sit in the dunes and take a few moments to speak to you about motivation. I have refound my love for photography these last few weeks. Not that I ever lost it. I'll explain why in a minute. But what I've learned the last few weeks regarding motivation and how we can encourage ourselves to get out with a camera, I think will really help you guys. And I know with us being in the winter, a number of people have been finding it hard to get out recently. And I just really hope that what I can share with you will help you on your own journey. So let's go and find a sheltered spot so I can share that with you. Do you know, on days like today, when you're in environments like this, I almost had to stop and pinch myself because we live in such a beautiful planet. This planet is so beautiful. And when we turn on the news, not that I watch the news, but if we do turn on the news, we are bombarded with so much negativity. And yes, there's a lot of difficult, challenging things going on in the world. I'm not going to deny that. But when we get out into nature, and especially beautiful places like this, we remember why we came here. We remember that life can be beautiful. We remember that this is a beautiful world. And being out in environments like this just bring us alive. Oh, I just want to share that with you right now because I am here in this beautiful, beautiful environment, surrounded by the most exquisite light. And it almost looks otherworldly, but it's not. This is planet Earth. And to me, that is just incredible. Just look at this. I mean, just look at that. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. One thing I'm making the commitment to do this year is to spend more time out with the camera, like I used to, in environments like this that bring me alive. Because this is what life's all about. Doing the things we love, in the places we love, with the people we love. And when we can share it with the world like I'm doing right now, it's such a blessing. Oh, look at this. Okay, let's speak motivation. I have learned something really quite interesting these last few weeks, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I'm aware that we're still in winter. This video is going out on the 1st of February, a time of year that many people find quite challenging, which is one of the reasons why I've been holding an online container this year called the Winter Wellness Club, which around 40 of you from around the world are part of. And it's been so beautiful to see how having something to focus on throughout the winter has inspired many people to continue doing photography, even in a season that they find challenging. But I've also had some really interesting revelations in my own journey this past few weeks regarding motivation. Now, when I started photography, I lived and breathed being out in nature with my camera. Several times a week, whenever I had a spare moment, I was out with my camera. I enjoyed it. It brought me so much joy. As the years have gone on, I continue to do photography, but I've not been going out as much as I used to, like 4, 5, 6, 7, all those years ago. 17 years this year since I've been doing photography. It's amazing. But the last few years I've not been going out as much as I used to. And there's a number of reasons for that. Changes in life circumstances, changes in commitments, changes in responsibilities. It's all part of life. We're going to have ups and downs, the law of rhythm, right? But something that really hit me this last few weeks has been, where does motivation come from? And this thought keeps coming into my mind that motivation doesn't exist. And that might seem a bit strange, right? Because we have the word motivation, so of course motivation exists. But this phrase keeps coming into my mind, and with really good reason. Because at the start of this month and the start of December as well, I was spending a lot of time kind of waiting for motivation to come. You know, I'd look out the window and I'd be like, oh, I could go out with my camera, but I don't feel motivated enough today. And then a couple of things started happening. I started hearing things about motivation. I started signing up to things that I wanted to learn more about. I joined an online community in an area of interest. I joined a 3-month programme in an area of interest. And by starting to do these things and plant these little seeds and get the momentum going, I started to fall back in love with photography. But what hit the nail on the head for me was, there was one day when I realised that not being out with my camera for a number of weeks, the more time that passed, the lower my mood was getting. And one day I said, you know what brings me more joy than anything? It's going out with my camera. Why haven't I done it for weeks? And I could feel little excuses coming up, and I thought, no, Kim, if I sit here at home and wait for motivation to come, I will never get out there with my camera, because it's not going to come and find me. I need to do something to reignite that spark. So I charged up my gear, put on my bag, and I went for a walk to my local woodlands. It's only about a 20-minute walk from my house. And I sat under a tree for 15 minutes and just observed the light. I then started filming little videos for Instagram. And then as I was filming those videos, my passion started coming back, my energy started coming back. And I then got out my camera and started photographing the trees, the bark, the texture, the sunlight against it, that contrast and highlights that was creating. And the more I did this, the more and more excited I got. And I loved it so much that the next day I did the exact same thing, packed up my bag, went back to the woodlands, did more photography, more filming. My spark was back. And then 3 days after that, I filmed last week's video. And if you watched last week's video, you would have seen how excited I was. I was in nature, I was elated, I was singing. Things were going wrong, but I was still having the best time. And today I'm out here once again. I'm feeling a bit more peaceful today because the sun's out and I tend to respond more to the elements. But I feel so alive at the same time. I just came here and found those beautiful abstract images. And I am certain I'm overjoyed with them because what I see on the back of my camera is lovely and I can't wait to go home and look at them on the computer. And we've still got another hour and a half till sunset, so I'm sure there'll be plenty more photography to come. But I wanted to share this with you because there's 3 things I have done this month which has helped to get my motivation back for photography. And if you're finding that you know you love photography and there's a part of you that really wants to go out with your camera but something's stopping you, these 3 things may help you. Firstly, remember that going out with your camera brings you joy. And just go out, even if you don't feel like it. I didn't feel like it the other week when I went to the woods, but I did it. And just being there and getting the camera out and starting to photograph and to film, it got the momentum going. And this is where I think motivation comes from. You have to plant a seed, you have to get the momentum going, and then the motivation comes. And the more you do something, the more motivation you have for it. And that's certainly what I've experienced these last few weeks. So just see, even if you don't feel motivated, if you know that photography brings you joy, Just set yourself that intention. Today I'm going to go out with your camera and actually do it. Doesn't matter what the weather's doing, just go out and do it and see how being out there and starting to practice again reignites you with that spark. The second thing is to listen to things, join things, learn things that inspire you. Something I did in January was I joined an online community that's in a topic of interest to me right now. I was doing a number of different exercises as part of that community, and I was starting to feel this sense of reconnecting to my inner voice and my creative self, which also helped me to remember how much I love photography. I also joined a 3-month programme that I'm currently doing in another area of interest. And again, by doing this programme and getting introspective and looking at myself in different areas of my life and exploring the exercises through that, I'm starting to find myself again as well. And it's just inspiring me to start doing the things I love once more. So that's something else you could try. Listen to audiobooks, podcasts that inspire you because they're in areas of interest. Go on a day workshop, join a programme, join an online community. You know, these aren't just spaces to join and not connect with. They're spaces in areas of interest that you can learn from and that can inspire you, and where you can hear other people's stories and where you can learn and you can grow. I do it regularly in my own life, and I also offer it as well. In fact, I have got an online container coming up this spring called the Spring Reset that I'll be sharing in a few weeks' time. So if you are looking for some online containers, some whatever it may be, workshops, communities, programs, they are out there. Find one that interests you, that's delivered by somebody that you resonate with, and you will start to find that spark and that motivation once more. And the third thing is get yourself in different environments. I notice if I stay at home for days on end, or I stay just in my little town, going to the same places every day, I get stuck in a rut. But when I go out to different places, I don't have to be far away. In the last video, I went to a beach that I've not been to for about 6 months. Today, I'm at a beach that's a 20-minute drive from where I live, and I've been here quite a few times recently, but it's a change of scenery, it's a change of environment. I'm bumping into different people, I'm seeing different things. When we go somewhere different, even if it is just a short drive from our home, it gets us out of the environment we're in every day, it switches up our routine, and it inspires us. We change our environment, we change our state. So try that. Next time you have a couple of hours free, go for a little drive, go for a walk. If you have a whole day free, go for a little road trip somewhere. Or if you really want to experience something new, go away on an adventure. Go for a long weekend away, go on a trip, and actually dedicate time to doing that. I read somewhere on Instagram this morning that travelling somewhere and going away on an adventure can actually shift your state far more than therapy can. That was really profound. I've done both in my life, and I think they're both incredibly beneficial. But I know if I go away on a trip, a weekend away somewhere, or a holiday somewhere, or a workshop or a retreat, I always come back in a completely different state of mind and energetic state than when I left. So this year, if you find you're wanting more motivation, you need a break, you need to rest, you want to feel inspired, plan a trip away. Book yourself on a workshop, book a holiday, go on a long weekend somewhere that you've always wanted to go. You will come back motivated because you've got out of your usual routine. So those 3 things could help you on your journey forwards. Even if you don't feel motivated, go out there and see what happens when you start getting that momentum rolling. Book yourself onto something that you enjoy doing, a workshop, a programme, an online community, and start connecting with other people who also love doing the things that you love doing. And 3, get yourself a change of scenery. All these things can help you to find motivation. But if we sit at home and wait for motivation to come, or we're just going around in our normal routines waiting for motivation, it's never going to find us. We have to do something to get that momentum rolling. And with that comes the motivation. So give these things a go, because I know they work. I've experienced them countless times in my life. And to me, we're here to enjoy life. So if we don't feel motivated to do the things that we love, just see what little things you can do in your life to bring back that motivation. It doesn't have to be anything big. It's just making that decision to try some of these things and see what happens as that momentum starts rolling. Now, speaking of these three things, going outside today or tomorrow and doing photography is completely on you. But if you would like to be a part of something or to come to something that can help you to reconnect with your motivation for photography, like say this spring I'm offering a 3-month programme that I'll be announcing soon, but something that is amazing because it gets you into a completely new environment for 3 days is that I'm hosting 2 coastal photography retreats this year, all around slowing down, being mindful, connecting with beautiful coastal locations in the northeast of Scotland. We'll be doing exercises, you'll be around like-minded people, change of scenery, everything's included. If you would like to come and experience a new environment for yourself, then these retreats are for you. It's a good combination of being out with your camera with some guided exercises as well as time to explore photography in whatever way speaks to you. There'll be solo time to get creative as well as plenty of opportunities to connect with the group. So you'll be spending those 5 days with a group of like-minded people doing something you love in a new environment. And I know from experience when I invest in a workshop or a retreat or a trip away with a group of people who also love something that I love doing, I always come home feeling rejuvenated. New ideas, new motivation, new inspiration, plenty of images, and so many memories that will stay with you for the rest of your life. So if you like the sound of that and you love the coastline and you love photography, why not come along? I've got one in April and one in September. September's is very nearly fully booked. There's still a few spaces left in April. You can find all the details on my website. It would be an absolute pleasure to spend those 5 days with you in these beautiful locations, to offer you that space to do photography and to guide you forwards on your mindful photography journey. As always, I want to say a huge thank you for watching. I'm off now to do some more photography, which will probably be shown in next week's video. But until then, have a great week. May you find the motivation this week to get out and do photography. Remember, you just have to make a decision to go out there and the rest will follow. Have a lovely week. I'll see you again soon.